Wu Qi looked at Charlie dumbfounded, and felt that Charlie was talking about a fantasy. At this moment, Charlie smiled evilly and continued, "Also, after I finish this psychological suggestion, if someone stops you from eating shish tea at that time, you will do everything possible to kill yourself until you eat shish tea. At the same time, if you see shish tea on the road, you must also eat it. If you don't eat it, you will die. Whoever dares to stop you, you will still find a way to kill yourself. The cycle goes back and forth for a lifetime. So, in your future life, apart from eating shish tea, you will have no other pursuits. You will not pursue spending money, pleasure, or women. For the rest of your life, you will only want to eat feces." When Wu Qi heard this, he couldn't help being a little angry, and said, "Mr. Wade, do you treat me as a mentally retarded? Do you think I will listen to you if you say this? Psychological hints are not done this way. You are not professional at all." Charlie laughed and said, "I'm not professional? I'm too professional, okay? If you don't believe me, come and try." After all, Charlie stretched out his hand and tapped on his forehead. Wu Qi's whole body seemed to have been fixed, and he paused for about 10 seconds. Then, he suddenly opened his eyes and murmured anxiously, "Where is the shish tea? Where is the shish tea? Don't take another bite. I'm dying. I'm dying. How can there be shish tea?" After finishing speaking, he also forgot who Charlie was, turned his head and ran to the dormitory, because there was a voice in his mind telling him that there are toilets in the dormitory building, and from some of them he can eat shish tea. A shocking incident broke out in the dormitory building of Orus Hill University of Finance and Economics. The school grass, super-rich second-generation Wu Qi suddenly rushed into the bedroom toilet and kicked a male student who was sitting on the toilet defecating. Listening to the first half, it seems to be a story of a domineering rich second-generation bullying classmates, but this second half is really disgusting. After kicking the classmate who was defecate, he directly reached out and grabbed the stool that was just pulled out, grabbed it and stuffed it in his mouth. The scene of his devouring caused the roommates in the bedroom to vomit bile. The classmates didn't know what he was going crazy suddenly, so they called the teacher quickly. When the teacher came, Wu Qi had just eaten and he didn't even wipe his mouth. When the teacher came, he vomited and vomited to death. The teacher knew that Wu Qi's family was very strong, so he didn't dare to take it lightly, staring at him in disgust and asking him, "Student Wu Qi, what's wrong with you?" Wu Qi had just recovered his sanity at this time, and felt an extremely disgusting taste in his mouth, so he wiped it and put it under his nose. The disgusting almost died. He had completely forgotten that he had seen Charlie, and he had also forgotten that he had just grabbed shish tea and ate it. Now he has no idea why he had a mouthful of shish tea. He rushed into the bathroom to rinse his mouth and retches constantly. The teacher followed and asked, "Student Wu Qi, are you feeling unwell?" Wu Qi paled and shook his head. "What the hell is going on? Is anyone pitying me?" A classmate plucked up the courage and said, "Boss, you just came back from outside, kicked the roommate off the toilet with one foot, and then ate what he pulled." Speaking of this, he really couldn't go on. He strongly controlled the thought of vomiting, and said, "Should we go to the hospital for a visit?" "What the hell are you talking about?" Wu Qi scolded angrily, "You said I ate the roommate." Several classmates nodded one after another. Wu Qi vomited for a while and cursed, "Quick! Quickly take me to the hospital." The teacher hurriedly drove his car, where Wu Qi went to the People's Hospital. Several classmates who had a good relationship with Wu Qi also followed. As soon as he arrived at the hospital and saw the emergency doctor, Wu Qi couldn't wait to say, "Doctor, come on, give me a gastric lavage." "I ate shish tea." The doctor was stunned. After more than 10 years of experience in medicine, it was the first time he saw such a patient. He subconsciously asked, "Why are you eating shish tea?" Wu Qi grabbed his collar angrily. "If IFC King no, I'll come to you. Give me a stomach lavage." Although the doctor was very dissatisfied with his attitude, he was still kind and hurriedly said to the nurse, "Prepare gastric lavage tools." The nurse nodded hurriedly and set about preparing. At this moment, Wu Qi suddenly felt that there was another pain in his mind, and then his whole body lost control from his mind, and all his thoughts were shush, tea. So he blurted out subconsciously, "Where is the toilet? Where is the toilet?" The doctor subconsciously pointed to the right hand and said, "Turn left and go to the end." When Wu Qi heard this, he blurted out and rushed to the toilet. The teacher and a few classmates hurried to catch up. As soon as Wu Qi rushed into the toilet, he went straight to open one of the compartments. After opening, instead of going to the toilet, he looked into the toilet. Seeing that the toilet was empty, he immediately exited and opened the second one. Everyone was frightened by his actions. Could it be? Is he going to eat again? At this moment, Wu Qi opened the second compartment, and there was an old master in it. Wu Qi was about to rush up immediately. Everyone held him tightly and blurted out, "No way, Wu Qi, no way." Wu Qi yelled frantically, "Let go of me. Let me go. Let me eat, I want to eat."